Hi everyone, good afternoon. I'm Amy Lei, a stock trainer at Homely Chart, which is a stock training school. Nice to see you again. And today, this is my 8th video of this channel, Amy Stock Analysis Daily. And the topic today is U.S. fund Covid-19, who's benefited. According to CNN, the U.S. government will fund and conduct key studies on 3 experimental coronavirus vaccines. And the nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony, has told CNN, and Phase 3 trials, which typically involves tens of thousands of people and measures whether a vaccine is safe and effective, will begin with one by Moderna in July, then an Oxford and AstraZeneca vaccine in August, and one by Johnson & Johnson in September. So means the U.S. government is going to fund these 3 companies, Moderna and Johnson & Johnson and this AstraZeneca, okay, and to aid their phase 3 trial of this coronavirus vaccine, right? And then, firstly, the vaccine, the vaccine phase 3 trial. The first one will be Moderna, right, in July. And then the second one is this AstraZeneca in August. And finally, the last one, Johnson & Johnson, is in September, okay? And then each phase 3 trial is expected to take place at more than 50 sites, mostly in the United States, but possibly in other countries too. The trials, which are expected to include about 30,000 people, will begin only after there's enough evidence of safety and efficacy from earlier trial stages. What does this mean? It means that the 3 companies, the vaccines they are currently experimenting might be might succeed in the end with very high probability. Otherwise, the government will not choose to aid them, right? So the government is not stupid. If they have picked these 3 companies, it must be that their experiments are of high quality and the success rate is very high. That's why the government has chosen to aid these 3 companies rather than the rest, right? Okay, and this means that for these 3 companies, the success rate might be high and the performance for these 3 companies might be good in future, right? The first one, Moderna in July. So later we can check the stocks of these 3 companies. Maybe we can have some opportunity, right? Why? Because we know that currently the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in the U.S. is nearing 2 million. What it means? It means huge demand. Currently, no vaccine, no effective, reliable, and safe vaccine now, but what if one of these 3 experiments, trials, or even all these 3 trials are successful? Once that's the case, then they will be able to satisfy the great demand, and then you can try to think how their performance, their financial statements would be in future, right? It must be very good, right? Okay, so then The direct beneficiaries fisheries of the government's funds would be the first company is called Moderna, and the stock code is mRNA, and the third phase trial aided by the government will begin in July, and for this AstraZeneca, the stock code is AZN, and the third phase trial is in August. And then Johnson & Johnson, code is J&J. The third phase trial is in September. So for of all these three companies, we are very familiar with J&J. Johnson & Johnson, we all know this one is a very famous company already, right? And then about this AstraZeneca and this Moderna, maybe some of you are not very familiar with. So we can check the chart for these three shares one by one. And because we are and because Johnson & Johnson is the one that most of us are familiar with, maybe we can begin with this J&J, right? Okay. Before we check the chart for these three stocks, I also want to share with you how to distinguish and trade a good stock. Firstly, we need to distinguish a good stock from not a good one, right? From a bad one maybe. And then secondly, after we have founded the good stock, we need to know when to buy and how much to buy, and after buy how long to hold, right? And also maybe you need to set your stop loss. So how to do it? Firstly, our first step, usually how do we know that it's a good stock and it's a bad stock? Usually we check the potentiality, right? About this potentiality, in my previous videos I also mentioned. So how do we check the potentiality? Firstly, we need to check the trend, right? If it's a long-term downtrend bearish share, it go down all the time, then from the perspective of technical analysis, it's not regarded as a very good choice, at least for now. We need to wait for the long-term bullish reversal, right? So firstly, we check the trend, and secondly, we might want to check the position, how far away the current price is from the very big bottom. Yeah, how high the price already been, right? So position. And finally, this is very important factor. I call it stock ALT. This is a word I made up myself, and in my previous audios I also shared with you. It's just like every person has its own personality. If you have known the characteristics or the regularities of the movement of a certain share, then you will be able to predict its future movement. So that's why I call it stock ALT. So how do we check the stock ALT? Later I share with you, or let me say I help you review how to check the stock ALT again, because in my previous sessions I already covered. Okay. And then secondly, after we have judged the potentiality, then the second step, we need to check the key financial statement factors. The purpose is to exclude the risks of serious fundamental issues. So as long as the financial statement is not that bad, then it's okay. We just want to exclude the risks of serious fundamental issues. So you don't need to go through all the details. You just check the key factors should be good enough, okay? And then this is just to double confirm to make sure that we don't take a very high risk, right? We need to make sure that we are quite safe, okay? And then the third step, we need to decide our trading strategy. For example, how long to hold. I buy and hold for short term, or for medium term, or even for long term. Okay, and then how much to buy? Should I buy 1,000, 10,000, right? And then after that, we also need to pinpoint our entry point on which date I buy. And once we have decided to buy, we need to set our stop loss at the same time. The moment you decided to buy is the moment you have set your own stop loss. You have set your own stop loss, okay? So then, how do we do it? So we can check the 3 shares, vaccine-related shares that have got the A's from the U.S. government, because from the aspect of news, this is a good news for these 3 companies, right? So we need to check the chart, the candlestick chart, and check some indicators to judge their potentiality first, and then to check the key financial statement factors. Already we have checked. It's good, right? It's good. Roughly speaking, it should be good. Okay, and then after we check the potentiality, we need to decide our trading strategy. For these 3 shares, is it a good timing to buy now? And how much you want to buy, and how long you want to hold after you buy, right? And then finally, when exactly should we buy, right? And also the stop loss, the corresponding stop loss. Okay, so we go to the chart. Firstly, let's check the Johnson & Johnson first, right? Because this is the one we are most familiar with. J&J, Johnson & Johnson. Okay, so this is the chart for Johnson & Johnson. Remember, the homely investment philosophy is long-term first, short-term next. We always need to check the long-term performance first. Okay, so after we checking the long-term performance, generally speaking, it's going up. The general direction is up all the time, right? Okay, so I may want to bring out some trend indicators to check the general trend. Okay, the general trend is okay, it's uptrend, right? But this share is already a very old share. It has been been listed for a very long time, right? So this is an old company, and after we check the general trend, then we want to check the potentiality of this share. So how we can check our MCD, right? Multicolor dragon. This indicator can tell us the potentiality is a very big one, or is a small one, or no opportunity at all. So how to check? We have 3 different colors of bars, right? We have the red bar, which represent the big boys. We have the yellow bar representing the speculators. Okay, we also call it hot money. And then we have the green bar. The green bar is the retailers, right? So retailers. So if we check for a share, the big boys cannot reach 50% and remain stably above 50%. We see that this share may not have a very great opportunity. It might also rise, but it cannot rise very fast at a very fast speed and rise very smoothly, because we know that for shares, although for some shares they are all in uptrend, but their performance can be different. Some shares it goes like this, very small correction, but very fast rise at very steep angle. This is one type. So sometimes we also have some other types like this. After a rally, there will be relatively a big correction, which can engulf most of the previous rally, right? And then, so it's quite volatile. Although the general direction is still up, but it's quite volatile. So for this type, we know that the best strategy is for a swing trading. We buy low and sell high, buy low and sell high. But for this type, we just simply buy and hold for medium term to long term, right? Yeah, so that's it. And then we might also have some other type. Maybe it goes like this. Sorry. It goes like this. Just like the ladder, right? After a sharp and swift rally, the price would sideways. It would not drop much, but it would sideways for a while, or maybe drop a bit, but the price keeps consolidating there for a while. Then after that, another fast rally, sharp and fast rally, right? So different shares have different stock reality. So if we check for the share, the big boys, they can never reach 50%. Still have some big boys, have some red bars, but if the red bars can never reach 50%, then means usually it should be the volatile type. Should be the volatile type. Especially when, if you check the very long history, for most of the times, the yellow bars, the speculators predominate. Usually the price would be quite volatile. Yeah, but if for a certain share, the big boys, they can reach 50% and also stay stably above 50% for a long time. Usually the performance, the price movement would be this type. It's a fast and smooth rise. So this is the best type, right? So this is the best type because we don't need to spend too much energy to trade. We just buy and hold. Then we can maximize the profit. We get most of the profit in a relatively very short time. For this type, you need to buy low, sell high to make sure that your entry and exit are accurate. And also for this share, you can choose to buy and hold. Only that it would be quite slow. You need to spend a long time to get the same profit. Maybe for this type, you get in a very short time. Okay? So then for this type, maybe in future we also, if opportunities rise, I also can share with you how to deal with this type. Okay? So then let's check for Johnson & Johnson first. What type does Johnson & Johnson belong? So we check for this period, right? The recent performance, the big boys, it's about to reach 50%, but then drop below and roughly remain around 25. This usually means that the share is still it still has some potentiality, some momentum, but it's not that strong. The upward momentum is relatively speaking weak. And then if we check even a longer time performance, we see that, let's say for this period, we see the yellow color means the retailers, the speculators. The speculators predominate. We seldom see the red bar, and we don't see. We see sometimes green bars, but for most of the times, yellow means volatile. You see the price is quite volatile, right? It's quite volatile there. It's quite volatile. Okay, and then we see for this time, the big boys reach 50, but then quickly drop below. So means this is the volatile type we have mentioned. So the best strategy for this kind of share, buy low and sell high for swing trading. Buy low and sell high for swing trading. Buy low and sell high. How to buy low and sell high for this type? How to buy low and sell high for this type? A simple indicator called red and white circle. We can combine red and white circle with the multicolored dragon. Okay, combine red and white circle with multicolored dragon. Okay, so this period we call it bottom catch. If you want to do bottom catch in future, I can share with you a method to do bottom catch. But how can we trade the share previously? Okay, so when we see the price, for example, already in uptrend, right? So for this rally, the moment the price above the white rainbow lines and the blue rainbow and the yellow rainbow, we see this is the reversal, the long-term reversal, right? So if you don't know what it means, better go back to check my previous videos I have shared with you. Maybe I just give you a brief review. This homely rainbow, the white rainbow stand for the long-term trend, the blue rainbow stand for the medium-term to long-term trend, and the yellow rainbow stand for the medium-term trend, and the red lines and one green line, altogether 4, stand for the short-term trend. And previously we see the price remain below the white rainbow, means for long-term it's bearish. This is the reversal point. After the reversal, the price firstly gave us a rally. If you want to make sure that you buy and make profit immediately and safely, you can follow the big boys. Because we don't see any big boy previously, but from this candle on, we have some big boys. Maybe you can buy, but you need to know this buy point is not a very low buy point. For short term, already have a rally. If you can take some risks, when the price already above the white rainbow, you can buy after the price. Let's say this is the platform. This bullish candle already break up the sideways platform there, and 1, 2, 3 days. Within these 3 days, you see the price has no intention of dropping further. You can try to enter here. This is our earliest buy point. Okay, and then if you want to buy and make profit safely and immediately, maybe you follow the big boys. The big boys under here, then you buy. Then after you buy, this is the short-term sell point. Remember, we see this kind of share, we better buy low, sell high, right? So if you have bought here or you have bought here, then you sell here at the white circle, okay? At the white circle, okay? Then after that, we have some short-term correction. Then when you see the circle turn to red again, and that is another buy point. Combined with the multicolor dragon, then the big boys still remain around 50%, right? Okay, so this is another rally. When to sell? When you see the circle turn white again, sell again, because we say buy low, sell high for this type, right? So you just follow. And then if it turn to red again, buy again, buy and sell. Okay, so buy and sell, and after you sell here, you see for this time a big correction, right? You see, if you didn't follow the indicators to sell here, you have to suffer this big drop for short term, right? Then that's why we always need to follow the indicators. So some people might argue, here the circle turned to white. If I sell, then immediately turn to a red again. I buy again. So is it okay I don't sell here? I tell you the answer is no. You follow the rules, because the rules is that as long as the circle turn color to a white, we sell for short-term trading. Because if you don't sell here, you will not sell here. But if you don't sell here, then you have to suffer the greater drop. Okay, so the reason we need to sell here is we want to avoid the potential risks for short term. Because always remember, for stock investment, the key is higher probability. No one can reach 100% accuracy rate. So if you cannot accept this fact, that no 100% a success rate you can guarantee, then better you don't trade stocks. Stock market is not suitable for you. If you have chosen to trade stocks, you have to accept the fact. No 100% accuracy. We can only try to pursue probability as high as possible. Okay, so following the white circle to sell for short term is to make sure that you have a high probability to make money and to avoid the big risks. Let's say a turn to white circle. This time no correction maybe, but this time big correction, and this time is a smaller correction, right? But you see, the probability is high. When the circle turns white, the probability that for short term the price would drop is very high. The question only lies in whether it's a big drop or a smaller drop. If it's a big drop, then you can avoid losing the profit you have earned previously, right? So that's the spirit here. So you see, after that, the correction here is a big one. So here, when the circle turns to a red again, and we see the price actually get some support at the blue rainbow, right? So at this moment, you can try to buy, but this is not a very safe buy point because the yellow rainbow here is acting as the resistance. You can try, but once you see the price unable to break up the resistance at the yellow rainbow, you need to sell quickly. Okay, you see the price never reach the yellow rainbow here, so means for short-term trading it's not the best timing, because you see also the big boys are decreasing. So you know that this time attempt to buy is the wrong timing, so you sell quickly, because for the at the very beginning we know this is not a very safe buy point because it's below the yellow rainbow, right? Okay, so this is how we can trade Johnson & Johnson, buy low and sell high. Currently, we see the price is still sideways. We see the red and white circle it change color frequently. That's because the price is sideways. When we at the sideways area, the red and white circle can not be that helpful. It would turn color frequently, but you will never lose money. You follow it, you never lose money. Firstly, make sure you are quite safe. Then, if you realize it's the sideways area, you can choose not to trade it at the moment. But then, so we can check multicolor dragon. If in near future the red bar, the big boys increase again, and this purple line, which means the 10 days moving average of the big boys, right? And the purple line turn direction from flat to upward. For short term, we might be expecting another rally. So that's the beginning of another rally if the red bar increase and the purple line turn upward. And then if at that moment the price already break up the sideways area, so that's the beginning of another rally. So currently you can monitor, okay? But we know that for Johnson & Johnson, the trial is the third phase trial is in September. Still several months, right? Still 3 months until 3 months later, right? So means we can keep a close eye on this one, and when it's very close to September, you need to pay special attention to this one, right? And then how about the second? The second one is AZN, right? AZN. Okay, so for AZN, firstly we check the performance of the big boys. This one is better than Johnson & Johnson because we see the big boys at least can reach 50% and stay there for a while. But for most of the times, it's still the yellow color, the hot money predominate, right? But at least it can reach 50 and stay there for a while. It's stronger than Johnson & Johnson. It's stronger, and for this kind of share, you can buy and hold for medium term, or you can buy low and sell high for short term. Either one okay. If you want to buy and hold for swing trading, you can follow the homely rainbow, right? So homely rainbow, because the general trend is up for most of the times if you check the very long-term history. And once you see here is this is the reversal point, right? The reversal from previously long-term bearish to bullish. After the reversal, if you buy here, you try to buy after the reversal, and we see the retailers decrease all the time, the big boys appear and increase all the time, the purple line going up all the time. That's why you can follow it and buy after the bullish reversal. Then you buy here. You can either trade for short term, or for medium term, or for long term, because you buy at a very low position, right? So whether or not we trade for short term, medium term, or long term, it doesn't only depend on your own preference. It also depends on the position that the current price is. If it's very close to the bottom, if you only do short term, you buy and trade for short term. But if you really want to do medium term to long term trading, so this is the best type for you. Okay, so you buy. If you really targeting a medium term trading, your trading strategy is, as long as the price remain above the yellow rainbow, you can hold. So means our buy point is here. After buy, we hold all the time, because the price never drop below the yellow rainbow. We see the big boys here, it can roughly remain around 50% there, right? Quite stable. So means this share is okay, it's quite strong, at least stronger than Johnson & Johnson. So if you want to make a comparison between Johnson & Johnson and ANZ, so ANZ would be a stronger one. The upward momentum is stronger, right? And then when to sell. Okay, so here we see the price drop below the yellow rainbow. This is the first day. The closing price is here. The last yellow rainbow is here, right? So this is the first day. The second day and the third day, if you see within 3 days, and price unable to go back above the yellow rainbow. So this is our sell point. This is our sell point here. After sell, we see the price is sideways there, because the yellow rainbow is very strong resistance. It might take a while for the price to stand up, go back above the yellow rainbow again. Okay, so wow, see, we sell, we managed to escape the very big downward gap. Okay, so you see how important it is to sell in time. If you didn't sell here, then you have to wait you now until after this big gap. You have lost all your profit previously. Let's say our buy point. Where is our buy point? We were checking just now. We were checking this period, right? So if we check, if you didn't sell here, then after this big gap, you have lost all your profit, because this is the same price level of our cost. We bought around this price level. Then after this gap, then you lose all the profit you have made within this long time. So that's how important it is to sell in time, and that's why you follow the homely software indicators. You can secure the profit you have made previously. So it's very important. Okay, so after that, if the price managed to stand above the yellow rainbow line again at this moment, right? And then we see the retailers disappear. Retailers already disappear. Big boys begin to enter again. You can try to buy here. Then you buy as long as the big boys are increasing, and it should be in uptrend all the time. But if the big boys cannot reach 50%, means the upward momentum is not that strong. Okay, so you see it remain below. So for medium-term trading, you buy, you still can hold. As long as the price remain above the yellow rainbow, you can hold. Okay, so this is the first day, price below yellow rainbow. The second day, the third day, go back. Pay attention here. The third day, the price already back to the yellow rainbow, so you still can hold. You buy and you hold. Okay, so here, 3 days, 1, 2, 3, unable to go back, still you need to sell. You see, for this time, our profit is limited or no profit if you buy and hold. Reason, the big boys never reach 50%, right? Never reach 50%. So after that, there is another correction, then if we see the price, so here, the price try to break up the resistance of the yellow rainbow, but unable to do that, so you don't need to buy. Still wait and see until here, the price above the yellow rainbow again. You can try to buy again, so you buy. Okay, so this time, but still you see the big boys, they're not increasing. That's not a very good sign. When you see this, maybe you can consider to trade for short term first. Short term, you follow the white circle to sell. If it turns white circle, you sell. So for short term trading, you sell here, because the big boy is not so strong. So you sell. Okay. We see the price keeps it becomes sideways there, right? Because the big boys cannot reach 50, so that's why the price is sideways there. And then for short term trading, you follow the circle, still can buy, but because the big boy is not very strong, you might want to stay sidelines for this share for a while, unless, wow, this is another correction, right? Unless the price can be above the yellow rainbow again, and the big boys can increase again. So you see, small chance because no big boys. Small chance, you see, small chance, no big boys. So here, we see the big boys begin to increase. Previous high, you can try some, and you see the big boys increase. Then means there might be a big opportunity, but it cannot continue going up. So if the circle turn white, still need to sell. You see, for this share, for this period, it's not a very good choice because big boys cannot reach 50 and remain stably above. Okay, so this is for ANZ. It's stronger than Johnson & Johnson, but still it's not that strong. It's not the best type. The best type is after we buy a go up, then very small set correction, then go up again, very small correction, then go up again. That's the best type for us. Then how about the last one? The last one is called mRNA, right? mRNA. Okay. So we check this one. It's the IPO is not a very long time ago. It was listed in 2018 until now, just 2 years. It's a 2 years company, quite a new one, right? Quite a new one. And then we see for this share, although the history is not very long, but you check the performance, the big boys predominate for most of the times. For this kind of share, that's the type we want. Why? We buy, we can hold all the time. Let's say because it's a sub-new share, it's not, the history is not long, it's not a very long one. We only see the white rainbow appear February this year. So but before the white lines appear, maybe we can check the blue lines, because the blue lines stand for the medium term to long term, right? It's the second longest trading term. Okay, so when we see the price stand above the blue rainbow lines. So maybe go back. So here, when we see the price stand above the blue rainbow line, and we see the big boys now already reached 50%, and pay attention to the previous platform high point. We can already try to buy here, right? So we buy. If the price can just break up the resistance of this previous high, means you can hold. If you see unable to break up, it drop first, you can check the half level of this bullish candle here, because it's a long green bar. Half level would be strong support. If the price drop to the half level, still get support, turn upward again, still you can hold. But if it drop further, then maybe for short term, you better leave first. Wait for another entry point. Okay, so we try to buy here. We see the price just directly break up. So this time is the successful try. So buy. After we buy, then we can hold if we trade for medium term to long term, as long as the price remain above the yellow rainbow. Now the price drop below the yellow rainbow for first day, second day, third day. We can try to leave for now, temporarily leave for now, and then another time the price go back above the yellow rainbow again, we can try to buy back. After we buy, we see the big boys, generally speaking, it remain around 50%, means it's a good one. That's why our strategy for this share is buy and hold for medium term to long term. As long as the price remain above the yellow rainbow, we can hold. First day below, second day below, third day below, try to sell again. Okay, back, it go back, can try to buy back. So you see, for this share, this period also the price is quite volatile, right? Because the big boy is not stable. But as long as we follow the trading strategy, we buy, and here the price below the yellow rainbow a bit, but quickly go back, you still can hold. Without standard, it's impossible for you to buy and hold all the time when the price is so volatile, right? But as long as we have the standards set, and the standards can make sure we are safe, and then we can get the biggest profit if the market give us the opportunity. So we buy and we hold. Oh, you see, this time we get a big profit. So until now, that's until now, right? So we can go look back and check the performance. We have, after the bullish reversal for medium term to long term, we buy once and sell once. For this time, we have a very limited profit or no profit at all, right? Maybe some small profit or maybe no profit. And for the second time, we try. This time also no profit. You see the circles are the our entries and exits based on the yellow rainbow lines, right? So we have bought here and we sell here, we bought here, sell here, and then the last time we buy here and we hold until now. Okay, so we check, we have traded for 3 times since November last year. Since November last year until now, we only traded for 3 times. The first time and the second time we managed to break even. Let's say we managed to break even, but the third time we get a very big profit. Until now, that's already 171%. We only hold for 75 trading days, 4 months. 4 months, your profit is more than double. It's almost doubled. Your profit is almost doubled, right? So that's not a bad profit, right? So you follow the strategy, then you can always make sure you are safe, and at the same time you make the biggest profit. Okay, so then some people might ask me, well, what if I didn't manage to buy at a low position? I didn't manage to buy here or here. Then how about now? Can I buy again? We say the trend is okay, and this is a sub new share. And remember, the third phase trial for this Moderna is July, the coming July. And because this is the trial aided by the government, so means it gets a lot of credit, right? This company already get a lot of credit. It has been picked by the government, means it's a good one, right? So the expectation for this share should be very high in near future, right? If people are thinking highly of this share, the performance might not be very bad. And we check the big boys there all the time, and we see a even remain above 75% for a while. So compared with Johnson & Johnson, and just now this AstraZeneca and this Moderna, we realize that this Moderna is the strongest of all the three. This one is the strongest of all the three. So then you might want to participate for this share in future. How to do it? So maybe you want, currently it's already high, right? So if you buy, definitely your cost is at a high position. So the best choice is for short-term trading, maybe a longer time for swing trading. Swing trading is the longest, the limitation for you, because really you buy, you want to hold for 1 year, 2 year. Currently, not sure. Okay, so how do I buy if I want to buy this one? This is a good one, right? This is the good share we have picked. Then when to buy? Right on my circle, right? So currently it's still white circle, right? So if, let's say in near future, currently the price already very close to the, already touched the white circle. If the circle turn to red in near future, and we can try to buy temporarily for short term, and then it would be the best if the retailers disappear, the big boys can increase again, right? But you follow the red circle to find the entry point. After that, if you want to buy and hold for a while, maybe you still can check the yellow rainbow line. Check the yellow rainbow line. If price remain above the yellow rainbow line, you still can keep holding, especially when after a rally the price is already far away from your cost. Then you can safely hold for medium term. What if for short term, maybe a turn to red circle, a rise for several days, then a turn to white circle again, means short term high probability of the drop, right? So what if that's the case? If that's the case, maybe you follow the circle to sell, the white circle to sell first. Next time, after the correction, we can find another entry point to buy, means next red circle to buy. After you buy, if the price give you a big rally like this, then the price is already far away from your cost. That's the moment you can choose to hold for medium term. Okay? So this is the best strategy for Moderna. And Moderna may be a very good choice for you. Okay? But still you need to monitor, check the software every day, and strictly follow the strategies. For short term, you check the red and white circle. And for medium term, to long term, you check the yellow rainbow lines. Okay? So that's all about today's sharing. So next video should be tomorrow, around tomorrow 3 p.m. right? So see you. Bye bye.